Hello everyone, it's me again, Steedo. I mean, you probably read the title of this video, so I'm not going to waste too much time. Let's just jump right into it. I will say now, the gameplay that is in the background is playing from the Japanese Fighters / Xenoverse livestream. So, I mean, I have a separate video on it if you want to watch the gameplay for Baby Uninterrupted. It's 8 minutes long of nice baby gameplay. They do say a few more other things about him off gameplay, but again, there's a link to that video in the description if you do care so much. And I'm just gonna mostly lay down the facts as to why Baby is completely fine in my opinion, why it's actually better he's coming late rather than early. The number one main reason is just look at characters like First Form Cell and Margin Vegeta, and so many characters that people asked for to be in Xenoverse 2 from the very beginning. Who were those characters? Who are those characters actually? When was the last time you saw First Form Cell online? I mean, Margin Vegeta, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. He's like the only CAC. You'll find no, he's the only original character. The final explosion equipable in the game, and no one has actually wasted their time putting that on their CAC, unless if they were, you know, doing something like they're making a themed video or a joke of some sort. I really don't know. But my point is here, is that Baby was in from the game's very start. No one would be playing him right now. Unless if he was a case of Super Gogeta, where he's really good. But even in Super Gogeta, after Punish Drive got nerfed, you don't see him online anymore. So I honestly do prefer the fact that Baby is coming in late. Because again, you could say whatever you want about a few other characters like Fu and 17. Well, not Fu. Fu doesn't count because we don't talk about his heavy attack. I do much prefer Baby being in the game now because, again, to my notice at least, all the later DLC characters perform way better than the characters that came out at launch, as well as a few of the earlier DLC characters. A good example of this is that while Ultra Instinct Goku, yes, does have mechanics that make him a very unplayable online for the most part, he also, you know, can at least fight. His combos do actually at least work. Everything with him genuinely works, and he has good supers and a good ultimate that you would actually use. And the same also applies with Jiren. I feel like those characters, they play fine, and while 17 only did get one super attack and nothing else, his one super attack actually works. It's not better than Burst Rush or Godbreaker, but at least it works. That's all that really matters. And the main point I'm trying to get across here is, why would you want Baby to be in the game from the start when you could just get a better version of him later? Like, okay, I can understand you saying, oh well, that means I have to pay for Baby, but at the same time, you probably want to play as Kefla either way, so you're gonna buy the DLC regardless, I'd assume, because at least from where I'm coming from, I see a lot of people say, I'm not gonna buy the Xenoverse 2 DLC, and then they buy the Xenoverse 2 DLC. So what's the point? I don't really feel like it's fair to say that he should have been in the game from the start, and it's lazy that they're adding him in. It's not lazy that they're adding him in because there was no demand for Baby over other characters. A good example is that at the time of Xenoverse 2 coming out, Dragon Ball Super is the new canon for the Dragon Ball storyline. I mean, I don't think GT was actually canon at all, but Dragon Ball Super is basically the next step after Z. It's no longer GT. What I'm trying to say here is that there was no demand for any GT characters when they would obviously just keep giving us characters from Super. A good example is Vegeta, Fused, Zamasu, Jiren, Ultra Instinct Goku, Kefla, Topo. There are so many characters from Super that people do actually want in Xenoverse 2 that they would easily pick over a GT character. So, again, you can't fault Dimps / Bandai Namco for just going with the smarter decision and giving us Super characters. If they gave us GT characters, people would have been complaining saying, oh, why didn't they give us Vegeta, Blue, or Fused Zamasu? I'd rather play as them. Who the hell is Baby? I don't remember Baby in Dragon Ball Super. It doesn't really make any sense from their standpoint to at least make a GT character in a Super-esque timeline, if that makes sense. Again, you could say, oh well, Baby should have been in Xenoverse 1. He didn't need to be in Xenoverse 1. I genuinely wouldn't have cared if Baby was in Xenoverse 1 or not. No one actually played original characters in Xenoverse 1, unless if it was someone ridiculous like Blue Goku, who stole 80% of your stamina at the start of the match. So, if he was in Xenoverse 1, yeah, that would... Who would play him? No one would play him. And then when he gets added to Xenoverse 2, he'd be on a list of characters that sucked in Xenoverse 1, so you're not going to play them in Xenoverse 2. Another great reason for adding Baby in late is that, at least to my knowledge, based on the other trailer they showed for Baby, the newest one, where he does his basic attack for 90% of the trailer, and then occasionally a super, his combos actually work, and his super attacks and ultimate attack are very unique. I'm pretty sure if they added in Baby from the start of the game, Revenge Death Ball would have been a reskin of either Death Ball or Supernova. And he probably wouldn't even have as many unique moves. I don't even know if they would include any of his supers. At least, I mean, the new ones he has now. I don't remember the names to all of them. I only remember like Variant Drive and Revenge Final Flash. I don't know what this Volley Blast is called. But what I mean is we wouldn't get a move like this if he was added in from the start of the game, because there's no move in Xenoverse 1 or the beginning of Xenoverse 2 that is as unique as you lock off of the opponent and shoot, and you lock back onto them and it tracks back to them. Destructo Disc is the only move that does this, and that's because of the tracking of Destructo Disc. It's not actually meant to work in that sense. Revenge Death Ball also wouldn't charge itself while you're using it, because no other Death Ball did that in Xenoverse 1 or early Xenoverse 2. So they wouldn't have bothered to even have made him anywhere near this unique, is what I'm trying to say. I do genuinely much prefer his ultimate being different. If for those of you who played Xenoverse 1, you would know that any beam ultimate that wasn't a Super Kamehameha was basically a reskin of Super Kamehameha. So there was no point of actually really including it, you know what I mean? Final Flash, I mean, yeah, it existed, but it dropped so much more online. Warp Kamehameha, it existed, but it took, I don't remember what, and there was definitely a reason people stopped using Warp Kamehameha in Xenoverse 1. I just think it didn't really land at all. Actually, yeah, it's the same issue it has in Xenoverse 2. But you see what I mean? Everything would have been a reskin of each other. Revenge Death Ball would have just been a reskin of regular Death Ball slash Supernova. It'd probably be a lot worse as well. I mean, I think another thing that's also good to take into consideration is that a lot of the new things we're getting are actually reasonably quick or can actually work in combos. What I mean is stuff like Evil Blast. The move genuinely does work. There's just one glitch that can let you escape it. Brave Sword Attack actually does work. I did find, I mean, I was being kind of a quote-unquote scrub of Brave Sword Attack. The move actually does work. You just need to press the attack button again to launch the sword out quicker, to launch out the final hit. So that ultimate genuinely does work. It was a me problem as to why it was dropping so much. Godly Display actually works for the most part. It doesn't work online if you do a knockback, if that's a guarantee. And Power Rush definitely works. We all know those moves work. So, I mean, at least of these characters like Kefla and Baby, we know they're going to be treated a lot better online or offline, because it seems they're trying to improve the online of the game more than the offline. I think they're aware that the online of the game is basically the end game once you've done the story and you've experienced like several raids or some sort. More evidence that I'm pretty sure all of you guys know and further reinforces my point is the Goku Black controversy with Rose Goku Black. As you guys all know, Rose Goku Black was most likely, I'm using the word most likely because I don't remember all the details, was most likely going to fight exactly like Base Goku and Blue Goku. I mean, I don't think he was going to anyways, because with Base Goku Black, he was a pre-order. With Rose, you have to actually pay for him, so I don't think they would have actually given him regular Goku's moveset. But if Rose was added in from the start of the game, he would have probably had a regular Goku moveset, because the Goku Black arc had finished by the time Super had released. No, by the time Xenoverse 2 has released, that's what I meant to say. By the time Xenoverse 2 has released, the Goku Black arc was completely done. So they could have easily have just, they could have easily put him in the game from the start. I mean, you could say it's lazy that they didn't, but a character that fights at least differently. I mean, yeah, he actually plays worse because, you know, Goku is so overpowered that Goku Black would play worse. But at least we have a different moveset, because I know people don't like the Fighters DLC for stuff like, oh, the characters are reskins of each other. And I'm assuming the same thing for Xenoverse 2 as well. So I'm thinking maybe we should be a bit more grateful that they didn't just, you know, copy and paste stuff from several other characters onto Baby. I mean, yeah, Baby does have some shared movesets. I do see a lot of tailless combos in his attack and several other things of the sort. But nothing, you know, that would make him a complete clone character. Again, the easiest solution for people who, you know, think Baby should have been at the game from the start, I would recommend you play a lot of characters that people asked to be in the game, like Margin Vegeta, First From Cell, the Lord Slug. Oh, I remember the amount of people asking for Lord Slug, Jesus. Yeah, play some of those characters, and then tell me how they feel when you play them, and tell me how much their moves actually work, because I think that does really enforce the fact that any character being DLC, as bad as it sounds, is technically for the better of the game, because their developers would have had more experience of what does work and what doesn't work, which can allow them to create better stuff for us. Again, if you notice, every DLC character we seem to get better and better. While Vegeta Blue is still the best DLC character in the game, I can easily say, it's mostly because his moves are, you know, Vegeta's moves. And there's nothing wrong with that, because it's the same character, he's just transformed. So there's nothing wrong with that. But the reason why Vegeta Blue is so good is because he was already a good character with just a slightly different moveset and higher stats. Whereas if you exclude Vegeta Blue completely out of all the DLC characters, I'd say Jiren and Rose are probably #1 up there because of how unique their movesets are and how well they actually do work in certain scenarios. So it's, yeah, again, if you think Baby should have been at the game from the start, play some of the new characters in Xenoverse 2 and just tell me how fun they are to play and if you'll ever touch them ever again. Of course, if anyone does want to talk about this further, you can just leave a comment. I will respond to the best of my ability. If I don't respond to the comment, it's probably something I already answered in the video, unfortunately. But I will do my best to attempt to respond to everyone, and I will answer the question again on stream in case anyone asks. I know people do like to ask me questions about stuff like this on stream. I think that's all I have to really say about Baby. I mean, yeah, it does suck that he wasn't in Xenoverse 1, but they did put his great form in both games. Especially, there's an expert mission even that features Great Baby, and he's not even a prominent character of the expert mission. GT did get forgotten, I mean, at least to them, but to us it's still around. I hope you guys did enjoy the video.